Is that beam of light right here showing up on your
Why I
screen?
was laughing. It looks like you're angelic or something. That's why it's funny.
There it goes. It was on my computer.
All right.
What do you
This is
want?
the first podcast I've ever done with you, and I had to Zoom you in.
Yeah.
You want to explain? Let's just get right into the guts of the situation. You want to explain why you're on a Zoom call?
Me and you are in a long distance relationship right now.
It's exactly what's happening. It's exactly what's happening.
I'm in my house
Yeah.
because I'm on quarantine.
Yeah, that's why you're not up at the bluffs. So, like, the situation, like, I'm trying to frame this up. Like, I've heard every time that we've done a podcast talking about what we're doing this year and the new place, and we've been behind and planted late and just trying to get everything going, weird year, blah, 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 blah. Well, like, last week was the first week that everything kind of felt normal again. Would you agree?
Yeah, we're back in the groove of things.
Yeah, I mean, it felt good. Brad was in camp. Two-Roy was in camp. Jimmy rolled up into camp. Me and you were there. You filmed Brad shoot 2 deer.
Yeah, in 2 days.
In 2 days. And then poor Jimmy rolled up. Like, right when Jimmy got here, the action slowed tremendously.
The pressure dropped out the bucket.
Yeah.
That's what. We had 3 good days of really good temperatures and really high pressure, and any deer hunter knows that's when it's going to happen, and Jimmy rolls into town and the clouds move in, and when the clouds are visible, no pressure, low pressure.
And I mean, even so, we can even talk. So, but the day, it was before Jimmy got there. I can't remember if it was a day or 2 days before, but Troy and I went and hunted Kudzu East, which no one had been over there yet other than working on it. No one had hunted there yet.
Yeah.
And we hunted there in the morning time, and that was we probably saw, I don't know, we saw upwards of 20 something deer. I kid you not, unless we saw a buck, like a button buck or a spike from a distance that we did not know was an antlered or a male deer, every deer that we saw that we identified as a buck, he was either chasing a doe, had his nose to the ground running. I mean, they was acting crazy. We had a shooter 9-point, but he came directly behind us in the ground blind we were in, and we just couldn't make it work with the camera and the gun and everything. But it was a wildly fun hunt.
Yeah, I mean, come to find out, when y'all started seeing all that chasing stuff, I started asking questions to all my buddies that hunted, within a 10-mile span.
Yeah.
And come to find out, they rut earlier up there at Kudzu Bluff than did at Cottonmouth.
That's what I mean. I was excited to hunt this week because everyone was going to be in camp, and the weather looked really good. Like you said, the beginning of the week was clear and cold and just how you want it to be, but I did not expect to see that. I mean, bucks just going stupid, I mean, most of them were younger deer, which is usually how it starts, but the old shooter deer that got behind us, he wasn't chasing, but the way we saw him, because it sit directly behind us, I heard him grunting. And Troy just kind of eased around and looked, and he was like, oh, crap, that's a big deer, and he was just kind of slow walking behind the doe. Just how the older ones do.
Mm-hmm.
But so, we're talking about finally having a normal, within rhythm week. Everything's feeling right. And then you kind of take over with what happened at the latter part of the week.
So I came home on Wednesday night to stay the night here. Mm-hmm. And then I came back up Kudzu Bluff Thursday and hunted, and came back home Thursday night. And my wife, she gets tested every week for corona.
Because of her work, yeah.
Like every week she gets tested on Wednesdays. And Thursday night she got her test positive. So she isn't showing any symptoms at all, really, other than she was tired for like a day. Yeah. But and so I'm on quarantine right now, long story short, until she's negative. I got tested yesterday and I was negative. So, but I've been exposed to her since then, and it takes 3 or 4 days incubation, they say. So,
yeah. Just a bad
here I am.
there you are. The thing that's like, it's one of the things like, it's not like anyone could do anything about it. It's just frustrating. Because, like, I'm sure you're feeling the same way. I'm like, well, crap, we just started going, like just started doing what we've been wanting to do, and boom,
Yeah.
Jordan's out.
Well, hopefully I'll be up there by Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm hoping she just showed some kind of false positive,
Yeah. So
I mean, seriously, like anything, she's been tired, but that's normal when you lay around the house all day. You don't feel good.
Yeah. Plus, man, I've known some people. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows people like this. They don't even have a reason to believe, a specific reason like her to say like a positive test to think they have COVID. They just be all of a sudden they're like, they hear of somebody getting COVID and they're like, my throat does kind of hurt. And they start, I kind of got a cough, all of a sudden you start making up symptoms.
I know when Troy got it and we came home, we had to stay at home like a week when he tested positive, and he for sure had it. But
yeah,
I got home at night. I was like, man, I don't feel too good.
I do the same thing. I ran like a couple days later. Like I remember I ran to the coffee pot up here at the Bluff. Still had some coffee in it from that morning. Just sitting there. I went and grabbed the pot and sniffed it like this to see if I could smell it. I was like, all right, cool, I'm clean for now.
Yeah.
But it'll work out, even if, I suppose, like, because this week it'll be me, Troy, Jimmy, and Brad. So
you got plenty.
Bradley can hunt, Jimmy can hunt, me and T-Roy will be running the video apparatuses, and
I'll be down here DIYing it, I guess. DIYing it.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what kind of one of the things I wanted you to talk about, because you've wandered yourself into some little action there.
I wanted myself into a lot of action.
A little Cub Cadet and a little
self-filming guru over here.
Man.
It is not an easy task, I can tell you that.
I don't want any part of it. I really don't. Like, I'm not knocking it. Like, I'm not knocking it. People that do that all the time, thumbs up. I'm not knocking it at all. I'm just saying, I look at that and I'm like, nah, not for me.
The last couple of days, man, it's been different for sure. I mean, I've always self-filmed some just growing up, and I did it pretty much. That's how I got into doing this, but trying to do it and actually make it look good is different.
Yeah, well, like, there's a difference between self-filming and like self-filming for the sake of a show, like that's for like what we're trying to do. And again, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just like me. It's almost from like a laziness perspective. I'm like, I want to do one or the other. If you want me to film, I'll film. If you want me to hunt, I'll hunt. I don't want to do both.
All day today, I've been in my saddle and self-filming. That's a different experience altogether.
Oh God.
So it's really not that bad.
Jordan's a saddle man now.
I just got a saddle, so we're trying it out. But it's actually pretty dang easy to film out of.
Well, actually, like I said, I'm gonna step back, because there's some people that I would be willing to bet there's people listening to this podcast and hunt out a saddle, so they might not have picked up on my sarcasm. I know there's a lot of people that love saddles a whole lot, and there's a lot of people that like hate on the whole new saddle craze. I'm neither of those people. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to tell you I'll never hunt out of a tree saddle. I have nothing against them. I'd have to try it out to see if it works for me first. From what you said it seems to be pretty easy so far. Like, you're liking it so far?
It's definitely like today's the first day I hunted out of one.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a learning curve, which is exciting to me. Just something different,
Like learning curve as far as like positioning, or
getting like set up for a shot and getting it comfortable. There's so many different adjustments on it to get comfortable.
That's what I would worried about, like drawing your bow and stuff. I would think that thing would get in the way.
You pretty much set up opposite what you do out of like a hang on or a climber. Like, say my shot's over here, in a hang on, I'd be sitting just like I'm facing you, and I'd be shooting over here.
Yeah.
On a climber, you're actually spin around so you can shoot over here.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be facing the tree that way.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
it's a little different on that part, but I was able to get in a tree that this morning that I wouldn't ever been able to get into with a climber, and I dang sure couldn't have went in there and hung a set without making a bunch of noise. So it's got its place.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, again, I really, when I was hating on the saddle, that was jokingly. I ain't got nothing against it. I'd be interested to, know about it. But that is one thing when you were talking about last week that does sound appealing. There's like the fact that you could pretty much get in any tree, or your capability of what trees you can get in gets broadened a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds.
So that the river birch that's in my backyard.
Yeah.
That's like 6 inches round.
Yeah.
I got up in it.
In that saddle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yep. So it's got its place. I mean, I still gonna hunt out my climber though. So it's been interesting.
What do you have like the few climbing sticks thing, and then do a little platform you stand on?
I just got some more in back there. The Hawk climbing sticks. Yeah, so I got sticks and the saddle with a little platform. I timed myself today setting it up. It really doesn't take much longer than climbing in a climber. It took me 15 minutes to be set up.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like 20 foot high, so it wasn't too bad.
So I mean, I guess your limitation on how high you can get just depends on your sticks.
Yeah, and they got all kinds of these deals they call aiders and all kinds of stuff, like so you can like monkey your way up a tree. So, but there's all kind of stuff. But that was my little hobby I've been doing today.
So now Jordan's just a full-blown tree saddle man. They've got that club on Facebook. There's a bunch of different forums you can get into now.
I'm already in them.
Just kidding. I'm a saddle man now.
Yeah.
Great.
But anyway, yesterday I went, I started hunting Friday afternoon, the self-filming thing.
Yeah.
And saw a bunch of deer Friday afternoon. I was hunting out there at the zoo. We've hunted out there, turkey hunted out there this spring. And saw a lot of deer Friday afternoon, just no mature bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And went and sat on the pipeline where me and you have sat before yesterday morning, just because I was being lazy, really. I just wanted to go sit there. I took the tripod and a camera and a gun. It's easy.
I mean, it ain't a bad – I mean, lazy or not, that's not a bad sit,
No, it's in a good spot for sure for a morning hunt. But I saw a little buck right when I got in the shooting house, probably 15 minutes after I got there.
Yeah.
He come walking straight up the pipeline to me and went in the water and crossed the ditch at like 15 yards. I was like, they're doing a little different than they did last year, because last year they were back and forth across those sucker about 200 yards. But anyway, I sat there for like an hour. I think it was 8:30. I looked up across out in front of me. I saw a deer.
Mm-hmm.
Put up, got the camera on him, saw it was a buck. Couldn't tell on the camera how big he was. Put on binoculars, looked at him, was like, oh gosh. It's like a 24-inch wide 8-point.
Yeah.
Like
I remember when you told me what deer it was, I was like, oh.
He's a stud.
Yeah, he's big.
But anyway, he stands where all I could see is his head for like 10 minutes. I'm just waiting. Finally, he walks out in the little, it ain't really a road, but it's where we rode a four-wheeler out through there, a Ranger or something, and just knocked it down this summer.
You on the west side of the power line?
No, I'm looking straight out in front of the box.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Towards my 2-year-old hole.
Yeah, got it. got it.
Yeah, but he finally walks out and was feeding on some blackberry, and I felt like I could get him, and I shot. Couldn't tell anything. I saw it looked like he bucked, but I couldn't tell for sure. And I tried to look at the footage on my camera, and my little camera wouldn't replay the footage. So I had to go get tested for COVID. Then I went to the house. I'm negative, by the way. I think I already said that.
Woo. Small victory.
But I went to the house and pulled it up on my computer and looked at it, and it looks like I hit him.
Yeah.
But if you look at the vapor trail like goes like under him at his feet.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he bucked. I mean, I went and we looked for an hour. I didn't find any blood, any hair, nothing. So I guess I just shot it right at his feet because I jerked the trigger like crazy.
Yeah, I remember
And
you over the tech.
as soon as I shot, I was like, if I hit that deer, something got like it's just by the grace,
Yeah.
But I missed him.
Mm. I mean, what happened? I mean, like I seen it over. I mean, like we talked about it over text, but we ain't talked about it, in depth. Like what? Like you said, you jerked the trigger, but like, what? Did you get some buck fever? I mean, what happened?
No, like
I'm not knocking you here. It happens to everybody. I'm just trying.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is filming. I'm worried about that, so I really don't ever get caught up in it. I'm worried about 2 or 3 things at once.
Yeah.
But no, I was squeezing, and then it never went off, and I just jerked it.
Crap.
Like I felt like I was just one of the things. I hadn't been shooting my rifle like I normally do. Normally I shoot it 4 or 5 times, and I just shot it once this year to see if it was on. And I just jerked the trigger. That's all it is to it.
Yeah. The only thing I can think, listening you describe it that way, is this was like this. I mean, this has been. It was right when I got back from Iowa from working Midwest. I was like 21 or something like that, 2021, and I went and hunted a spot, and this buck came out, and I had the same thing. I hadn't shot my rifle at all. I was being like I hadn't practiced shooting my rifle, and if me shooting at that buck that day was the first time I'd shot that gun at all since last deer season. And he come in, he was big. I pulled up, got on him, and I did the same thing. Like I jerked it so bad. I remember like soon as the gun went off and the deer's running off, not touched. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you are a rookie. Like I felt like this is the first time I'd ever tried to shoot a deer with a gun before. Like it just,
Yeah, like as soon as I shot, I was like, I just jerked the piss out of that.
Yeah. Bad feeling.
That was that. He was catch and release.
At least, and look at it this way. I mean, I know we say it, but it's true. At least you didn't hit him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, at least you didn't hit him somewhere crazy, like in the hind quarter, and injure him or something like that.
I feel very confident I did not hit him.
Yeah.
Like I spent 2 hours looking.
Yeah, and you brought Delta too, didn't you?
Yeah, she never acted like she was on anything, really.
Yeah. And she's for y'all. Those of y'all that don't know, Jordan's dog Delta is a tried and tested blood dog. I mean, she's tracked up a lot,
Yeah, she tracked up enough to know she ain't no like grand champion or anything, but
no,
she's tracked
she ain't
up
she ain't like no, I mean, she's not like Jay Leggett rolling in bringing in his dogs, but she knows how to find a deer.
Yeah, so that was that. I went all day today. I saw like 10 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all those little bucks, and I just saw a 2-year-old 8-point this afternoon and 3 does.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and that's that.
What's your plan? You gonna keep pounding that until?
I mean, if Jesse comes back positive, worst case scenario, y'all ain't gonna see me for another 10 days.
Yeah, true. Like, I mean, I guess that's what me and Brad were talking when I was driving home. I was on the phone with Brad, and he was like, I guess, we gotta at least plan for the worst in case that does happen and you're out. All right, we're a man down. What are we gonna do? We gotta at least roll through that in our head. So if that does happen, we're not like, crap, what do we do?
Yeah. Now, hopefully I'll be back up on Wednesday, but worst case scenario would be like next week.
Yeah, that would not be ideal, seeing as it's one of the best hunting times of the year up here for our first year at the Kudzu Bluff.
Yeah.
Also, for those of y'all
they're not even thinking about chasing here.
No, I wouldn't imagine so.
Like every buck I've seen, like they're just walking. I mean, they're starting to think about it, but they're not behind those or anything.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I mean, like I feel like there's so much ground to be covered where we're at. And there's so much of it that's just so unknown. Like the last Friday, me and T-Roy hunted last Friday morning, and then I had to blow out of there because I had to get to a funeral. But we hunted the south end of the lake, and we didn't have no stands. We just took a rifle and that stakeout blind and just picked a spot on the ground that we thought looked halfway decent. And we were not on the X, but we like that morning when it got still, it was probably 8:30ish. I could hear a buck grunting and stirring off through the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's happening there right now. And I imagine, like I said, judging off of how they were acting and the age class deer that I saw what they were doing, I imagine it's only going to get better, you know? So if you happen to have to miss it, that would be unfortunate for you.
Bring your grunter, son. Get your grunter in the
I got it. I had it. I didn't have it.
How many times this year have I told you bring your grunter?
I don't know. Probably double digits. Double digits.
Yeah,
We've got
you got it now.
Huh?
As long as you got it now.
Oh, yeah, I got it now. I got the grunt. I got the can. I got the rattling antlers. I got an extra grunt if I lose that grunt because I'm bad about losing stuff. I got an extra can. I'm ready. I am ready. As like, you know.
Yeah.
There's a food plot that me and T-Roy hopefully going to go hunt tomorrow afternoon that we've named the cedar tree for reasons that there's a ginormous cedar tree in that food plot. And
Don't put a stand on it?
no, we're probably gonna go climb. Be the idea right now.
My man.
And you know them climbers, you know what I'm saying? But there was Troy, the first time he went and looked, like I was looking at something else and Troy come back and he said there is a giant scrape under that cedar tree. And I didn't think too much into it. I mean, because we've been seeing, everywhere we went, we're like, man, look at all these scrapes. And so when Troy said there's a giant scrape by that cedar tree, I was like, cool, another scrape. Well, we went in there last Friday after we hunted. We went in there and put a trail camera on there. And I walked up there when he was putting the trail camera up, and I was like, oh, my gosh, that is a giant scrape. And there was here, legitimately, this is what I thought. I was like, because a few years ago when we were at Cottonmouth, for y'all listening, Jordan, you know this story because you're a part of it. On the main road leading to the skinning shed, Jordan, with his rubber boots, made a fake scrape the size of a truck hood to mess with Jimmy.
You helped me.
Okay, yeah, but it was your idea. I played a part in it too. But I saw that scrape under that cedar tree, and I'm not gonna say the first thought, but one of the thoughts that ran through my head is, did Jordan do this to trick me and Troy into thinking this was a giant scrape? So if you did, you got elaborate because there's like multiple deer tracks and I was like, if he did this, then this prank is elaborate, but it looks real.
Have you not seen that deal you strap on your boots to make scrapes now?
I've seen it. That's what I'm saying. If you went that far, I'm like, this prank is elaborate.
I did not do that. I hope y'all kill that big 8-point we got pictures of in there.
That's the scrape goes 3/4 of the way around that cedar tree.
That's pretty big.
It's large. And so I was like, man, Troy, when you said a big scrape, I didn't know you meant that big of a scrape. Gracious.
Go get him, boys.
That's the plan.
I'll keep on doing what I'm doing here. I guess we can intertwine it, whatever.
That's what we're going to have to. You really don't. The situation we're in right now is frustrating, but it's par for the course with the rest of this 2020 year. I mean, you know what I mean?
I guess I could drive up there and just not come to camp and hunt, huh?
Yeah, run that by Brad and Jimmy and Will. See what they think. I'm going to go ahead and tell you my vote's no. It is no. So if you get, you already got you've got the zoo to yourself. You're like, oh, I'm on quarantine, but you're just hunting the zoo by yourself. So I don't see what the issue is here,
It's different. I ain't got nobody to. When I shot yesterday, I was like, this is the first time I shot at a deer with a gun, and I ain't had nobody sitting with me in a long time.
Yeah, I hear that.
I still bow hunt a lot every year by myself. I rarely ever take a gun,
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're in kind of one of them situations where it's nothing anybody can change. You just got to call an audible and roll with it. So we figure it out. Hopefully you don't have COVID. Hopefully none of us else get COVID, and we can make it out through this season.
Yep.
I don't know how to do, but
it is what it is. It ain't been that much fun this year.
no, it's been different. I said, I don't know. I was gonna lay mention to something that I've talked to you about, that just the idea, you know what I'm talking, that idea I had to try to just spark some kind of positivity to the end of this year. But I think I'll bring that up next week when I have everything ready. Not yet. So, yeah, I'll let you go. I'm sure you're tired and stuff, and then I got a few more things to do around here get ready for the whole crew rolls back in tomorrow, minus you. So,
you're the caretaker. You got to make sure the place is care took.
I've got to dust and mop and vacuum, and then Jimmy.
Make sure to wear that little maid outfit you got.
I got to go fluff the pillows in Jimmy's room, and pine solar floor.
All right. Well, I'll keep in contact with y'all, and I guess if everything goes to plan, I'll be there Wednesday.
Word. Until then, this is the Primos Truth About Hunting, Primos Speak the Language podcast, COVID Chronicles. We'll keep you posted. Thank y'all for listening to this episode, guys. I know it's a little unorthodox, but it is what it is this 2020 year. So, yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all for listening to Speak the Language podcast.